Oficialmente, buenos
Buenos
días.
días.
Muy bien. Oh, teaching moment here. My first word was, and someone is waiting here. Megan. There you go. My first word was oficialmente. Oficialmente. What do you think I'm saying there?
Officially.
Officially.
Officially. Look at that li. In Spanish, the equivalent for that li would be mente. Just like that. Okay? And it's just a little reference. Okay? Because you are very, very, very studious about the language. So this is the way it works. So as we said, whenever you have a word ending in mente, that would be equivalent to the ending li. And what it is turning an adjective into an adverb. Okay? And the technique is that you would take the adjective and you add mente, but there's a little technical explanation. In this case, when you're saying official, I'm official here today. So that is my adjective. Oficial is official. If I wanted to make it officially, oficialmente. Let's try another one. What if I wanted to say totally? Oh yeah, I'm totally fine today. So in this case, it is exactly the same word. When you say total in Spanish, it's exactly the same word, but the emphasis is different, right? Because this word ends in a consonant. Therefore, the emphasis would be on the last syllable. Okay? Therefore, rather than in English you say total, in Spanish would be total, total. And if I want to say totally, you would say what?
Totalmente.
Lamenting.
Correcto. Totalmente. Okay? And here is just in order to go to the next item for our class today. Uh, let's think of an adjective that could have masculine or feminine. These two ones here, when you say oficial or total, is used for both, for masculine or feminine. Doesn't matter. Okay? But in this case, let me think. Okay. We are familiar with this word here. Alto or alta. This word, this adjective has many different meanings. One is related to height. So in that case would mean
Tall.
tall. Okay, that's excellent. Tall. Okay, but also alto could also be a command. When a policeman says to you that, and that policeman goes with body language, alto.
Stop.
In that case would be
Stop.
the command stop. Okay, and here there's another one. Alto also means high. Okay, now highly. What if I want to say, oh, this is highly recommended, right? In this case, if you have an adjective that ends in O or A, depending on the item, if it's masculine or feminine, you have to turn that. I'm going to go to the other page here to have all these ones here. In that case, you must use the feminine. Therefore, you would say alta, so you turn it into feminine, and then you add the equivalent to li, which is
Mente.
correcto. Correcto, muy bien. Let me give you an example. Esto es okay, what if I wanted to say, oh, is this is this is highly recommended. Okay, what if that was my target? Okay, and so in this case, that this I'm just going to use a neutral, not not related to gender, not masculine or feminine. The neutral to say this, I would say esto. That is not masculine, not feminine. So when you say this is, and then what is as a description?
Yes.
Esto es. And now give me the highly. Esto es.
Altamente.
You got it. You see? So you made it feminine and then you added the li. Esto es altamente and then recomendado. Esto es altamente recomendado. At the count of three, could we say, oh, this is highly recommended in español? Uno, dos, tres, go for it.
Esto es
altamente recomendado.
recomendado.
Muy bien, esto es altamente recomendado. I'll give you one more and then we'll go to the next content. Oh, this is an interesting one. You know when people say, oh, I'm madly in love with you. So when we want to say madly in that case is the same as saying crazily. Crazily. Do we know how to say crazy?
Loco.
Correcto, correcto. And when you're saying loco, as you can see, it ends in O. So in that case, you are referring to gender. Okay? For example, what if Jorge was saying, I am crazy? Ooh. I would say, yo estoy loco. But what if Maria was right next to me? And Maria was saying, I am crazy too. So Maria would say, yo estoy loca. Yo estoy loco. Yo estoy loca. Are you with me there? Now, this could be loco or loca. What if I want to say crazily or madly in the situation of, oh, I'm madly in love with you. Okay? So how we say crazily?
Locamente.
Locamente. And if you were interested in having that to say to your significant other, you'll say it in Spanish, and your significant other will go, what are you saying to me? Oh, I'm saying something very beautiful to you. So you're telling that person, and this is temporary. Yo estoy. Yo estoy. Yo estoy locamente, and now in love would be yo estoy locamente enamorado or enamorada, whatever the case is. So I'm crazy in love, crazily in love, enamorado o enamorada de ti. Okay, Could you think in that significant other? Could you think in that significant other and say, I'm crazily in love with you at the count of three. Uno, dos, tres, go.
Yo
Yo
estoy
estoy locamente enamorado de ti.
GT.
Excelente. Beautiful. Okay, this was our teaching moment with this brand new segment, how to turn an adjective into an adverb by adding the ending mente. And you must remember, if you're using an adjective that could have the ending O or A, don't forget to use the feminine. That's the only catch. Okay. And we are so solid with numbers and days of the week. So could we go with today's date? And you'll see in today's date something interesting. You have this one. We all know how to say one in Spanish, which is
Uno.
uno. But in this case, oh, it has this strange RO ending. Okay. This number here is a so-called ordinal number, because when you say uno, dos, tres, cuatro, cinco, those are cardinal numbers. Ordinal numbers is when you're saying first, second, third, fourth, fifth, right? In Spanish, this word is primero. And whenever you're saying, oh, today is November the 1st, okay, when you're telling the date, we only use it for first. For the rest, we use the cardinal numbers. But for the number first, we use the ordinal number. Okay. And before we say the whole date, could we have another teaching moment with only 5? We're not going to get too crazy about this because it's not part of the content for the class, but we need it for today's date. Could you please hit me with 1 in Spanish?
Uno.
Uno,
Could you hit me with 2?
Dos.
dos,
You hit me with 3.
Tres.
Correcto. Correcto. 3. And could you hit me with 4?
Cuatro.
Excelente. And hit me one more time with 5.
Cinco.
Okay. Perfecto. And you know what? I appreciate because I believe I heard the Spanish accent from Spain. In Spain, whenever they have the combination of either CE or CI, like this one, the C would turn into the sound of the TH. So that's why if you're planning to go to Spain or you have Spanish friends from Spain, don't say, but in order to impress them, don't say cinco. Say cinco, TH, cinco. Let's pretend we are in Madrid having some sangria, okay? So we'll say cinco. Go for it.
Cinco.
cinco.
That is the perfect Spanish pronunciation from Spain. Okay. Now, this is the other side of the coin here. Okay. Bum, 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 bum. These are so-called ordinal numbers. If I ever wanted to say first, the word would be primero. Primero. And that word would have gender because it turns into an adjective. When you say first class, first student, first husband, first, etc. Okay. So the gender would be related to the item you're using. Okay. And now, if the item was masculine, you would say primero. Could you say both? Could you say primero, primera? Uno, dos, tres.
Primero.
Primera.
And the same as in English, when you would go with the abbreviation in English, you would use an ST. In Spanish, you would use an RO. Or if that was feminine, it would be RA. Okay, so that is the explanation of this word here, which is primero. Since we are doing this, let's do the rest of the family. Could you say segundo? Uno, dos, tres.
Segundo.
Correcto. And segunda. So the abbreviation would be like that. Okay. And now we'll go with third. Tercero. Uno, dos, tres, go.
Tercero.
And perfecto. Tercera. And you go back to 3RO or 3RA. This one here, you'll find it kind of interesting because we learned this word with a different meaning. To say fourth, you say cuarto or cuarta. We were watching a video which is El Cuarto Misterioso. So the word cuarto could be the noun as a room. A room, we call it un cuarto, right? But if I wanted to say fourth, it's the same word, cuarto o cuarta. So in this case, what do you think would be the abbreviation?
Yo.
Correcto. And one more. This one would be quinto. Quinto. Don't be tempted to try to pronounce the U. No. Whenever you have QU, either I or E, never pronounce the U. That would turn into the sound K. Therefore, if I want to say fifth, I'll say quinto, or quinta. Give me the masculine and the feminine at the count of three. Uno, dos, tres.
Quinto.
Quinta.
Perfecto. And that would be your abbreviation right there. And you have a new component. If you ever needed these ordinal numbers, at least you have them from first to fifth in your pocket when you're communicating with these Latinos. Okay, perfect. Could you go from first to fifth, masculine, feminine, in order to do our Spanish workout today? Count to three. Uno, dos, tres, go.
Primero.
Primera.
Segundo.
Segundo.
Segunda.
Segunda.
Tercero.
Tercero.
Tercera.
Tercera.
Cuarto.
Cuarto. Cuarta.
Quinto.
Quinto.
Quinta.
Quinta. Perfecto. You know what? We are absolutely ready to say today's date. At the count of three, we'll do it together. Uno, dos, tres, let's go.
Hoy
Hoy es el sábado
de noviembre
primero de noviembre
de
de
2025.
2025. Muy bien. Es un día especial hoy en la cultura hispanoamericana.
Es el Día de los Muertos.
Gracias, Julia. Gracias, Julia. La celebración del Día de los Muertos. Hoy es la celebración del Día de los Muertos. Who has ever experienced the Day of the Dead celebration in Mexico? Anyone? No? And but who has visited Mexico?
Sí.
Sí.
Yeah, several of you. Have you noticed that in many stores they have Day of the Dead figures and lots of items related to the Day of the Dead in Mexico?
Sí.
Correcto, correcto. Okay. So, yes. And so what is the concept of Day of the Dead? Is that something spooky? Ooh. Do we know anything about Day of the Dead?
I only know from the Disney movie, and I don't know if that's accurate or not.
Lara, I appreciate your comment because you know what? That movie, which is Coco or The Book of Life, those two ones, they are related to the Day of the Dead. There's a lot of research behind those movies. So, most of the information that you get in that very entertaining, like I love that movie. Have you seen the movie Coco?
Yeah, it's
Yes?
really good.
No? Linda, if you have not seen it, highly recommend it. Highly recommend it because number one, it's very entertaining. The music is awesome. And the message is really profound. The message really hits you. And then you start thinking about our own traditions here in Canada. Okay? And yes, Lara, as you were wondering, yes, it's pretty accurate in terms of most of it. Of course, there's a lot of science fiction in it because they have to make it like a movie. But the concept of the spirits or the souls of those beloved ones who have passed away, they would come back to join their families and members, in this case, once a year. And let's not forget that we speak Spanish in all these 21 countries because of exploration and colonization. Those Europeans wanted to find this path to Asia by the sea and to tell the world that the world was not flat, but the world was flat, so that was round. So an explorer called Christopher Columbus, which in Spanish, Christopher Columbus, we the name is Cristobal Colón. That's the way we name that person in Spanish. Christopher Columbus is Cristobal Colón. Now, to make a long story short, when they found finances through the king and the queen of Spain, they were able to have three vessels: La Pinta, La Niña, La Pinta, La Niña, and La Santa Maria, which we are so familiar with because we have a replica at the Westminster Mall. La Santa, La Santa Maria, La Santa Maria. So by accident, they were not expecting this. By accident, they found this new world, which is nowadays called America. But they didn't know better. They thought it was because they wanted to have a path to go to Asia, to go to India, around the world. So they miscalculated and they didn't know there was this new world that existed. So they found this new world. They thought it was India, so they called all the Aboriginal people there, they called them Indians because they thought it was India. But anyways, they started colonizing all that, and they found these incredible civilizations. What are the two civilizations they found in North America?
Aztec?
The Aztecs and the Mayans, right? And in the southern part of what is America now, it was the Incas. And and trust me on this, they were highly sophisticated civilizations. Highly sophisticated. the Mayans and the Aztecs. They knew sciences. And they built those temples with perfection accuracy, without having any computers or lasers or transportation. So it was incredible. But again, to make a long story short, all those civilizations, they already had their traditions. And these new explorers, they brought with them a new culture, new language, and a new religion. Okay, so the Aztecs, they had this tradition that those souls would come back to visit their beloved ones, and they had celebrations, and it was a long trip, so they had food for them, they had water for them, and there were all kinds of celebrations. When those explorers came, they thought, this is interesting, this is bizarre, we don't celebrate that, but hey, we have the All Saints Day, which is November the 1st. All Saints Day in many countries in Europe and in Latin America is when we remember our beloved ones that has passed away, and we would go to the cemeteries and we would put their flowers, and we would spend time with our beloved ones at least once a year, and people do it more often. But that's the thing. It was a kind of linking the two traditions, the Aztecs with the new those explorers, the conquistadores. So it became the Day of the Dead celebration, only 2 days. Okay, and do you understand why is it 2 days? Some of you might know. Today, November the 1st, is celebrated Day of the Dead for the little ones, for children. And tomorrow is for adults. Okay, so that was my little explanation of what Day of the Dead is. Beautiful celebration, and remember that there's this activity from the Edmonton Hispanic Bilingual Association at what is it? El Restaurante Calle México. Okay, they have wonderful food there, so it'll be fun. That was our segment for La Celebración del Día de los Muertos. Could you say that in Spanish? Uno, dos, tres, go.
La celebración del Día de los Muertos.
Can you give me your version of Christopher Columbus in Spanish? Uno, dos, tres.
Cristobal
Colón.
Could you please give me the three vessels, the three ships that Cristobal Colon used to find this new world? Okay, go for it.
La
La Pinta, next. La Niña, and
Santa María.
La Santa Maria. Now you had your cultural segment today. Today we are going to introduce a new unit, but before that, you had a little assignment, and I'm so impressed because I sent this material late yesterday, and yet some of you sent me messages saying, Jorge Vargas, I'm ready with the assignment. You can ask me any questions because I'll be able to answer them. Okay, so here is the power of communication, where with one story, okay, now we are able to not only answer questions in a very, very fluent way, but also you're able to come up with a summary. And here you're using everything you've been learning so far in Spanish. So could we go with the transcript? Okay. And then I have the questions in red, and then on a volunteer basis, could you please go lista, and you go with your answer. Okay. Now let's start in this el cuarto misterioso, el episodio 1. Could we introduce the episode with our mysterious voice. Okay? Count on three. Uno, dos, tres, go!
El
El cuarto misterioso,
Episodio uno.
episodio uno.
You know what? Your voices were so mysterious that I'm really engaged already. I'm really interested in this kind of mysterious story. Okay, now we're going to introduce the video the same way the narrator did it. Okay, very knowledgeable. At the count of three, we'll start with Aquí está México. Count of three. Uno, dos, tres, go.
Aquí está México.
Sí,
Capital es
La
la
capital
Capital
es
es la ciudad de México.
sí. La
La
ciudad,
Ciudad de México
tiene
tiene
20.
20 millones de
habitantes.
habitantes.
Perfecto.
Aquí
está
Coyoacán.
Coyoacán.
Coyoacán, muy bien.
Coyoacán es
de
la
la
sede de la Ciudad de México.
¿Correcto?
Aquí vive
Vive
José,
José con su tío, el señor Juárez.
Ahora el episodio 1.
El episodio 1. Perfecto. And here we're going to go back and forth with the story, but at the same time, we'll be analyzing things that we've been learning. Okay? For example, when you say, aquí está México, how do you translate that again?
Here is Mexico.
My question is this. Oh, that is perfect. But how come we don't say aquí es México? Because I learned that es means is. And you're saying here is Mexico. What is the difference?
Estar is for location.
That is wonderful. So está means is, but number one for location, and for anything that is like temporary, right? For example, a typical question when I ask you, "Hola, ¿cómo estás?" and then you want to say, "I am fine." How do you all say, "I am fine"?
Estoy bien.
Estoy bien.
And you're using the second verb to be, which is estar, and that was a wonderful explanation, Sam. That was for location. We use estar. Wonderful. And then you see here you're playing with those two ones. You're saying está, and yet here you're saying es, because in this case it's a description. La capital es la Ciudad de México. So we've been learning that. Also, we've been learning verb to have. So for verb to have, okay, in this case, tiene. Could I be a tyrant today? Could I ask you to conjugate verb tener? But on the spot, now, like everyone is sweating, like especially Emma is thinking, oh my God, Jorge, you are so mean today. Okay, yes, I'm mean today. So I'll give you the subject, pronoun, and conjugate verb tener. Yo tengo. Tú tienes. Usted
Tiene.
tiene. Ella tiene. Él tiene. What if I want to say it has?
Tiene.
Tiempo tiene. How about nosotros, nosotras? Tenemos. How about, the tricky one in Spain? Vosotras, vosotros. Tenéis. How about ustedes?
Tienen.
And how about ellos, ellas?
Tienen.
And I need to add one more, which is the you singular in Argentina or Uruguay or some places in Central America, which is the good old vos. What would be the conjugation in tener with vos?
Tienes.
Julia, gracias.
Tienes.
Vos tenés, with a written accent. Vos tenés. Perfecto. You're fine with that. And then the rest is just repetition of what we've been doing because you're saying, aquí está Coyoacán, which is location, as you said, ASAP. And then Coyoacán es parte, which is description. And one little teaching moment here. Again, on the spot is this. In this unit 2, we're going to expand our horizons, okay? Conjugating verbs, going the extra mile. So what is the extra mile? So far, we've been really solid conjugating AR verbs, right? For example, let's conjugate verb hablar. Okay, same thing. I'll give you the subject pronoun. Be solid, very solid with your conjugation. Yo,
Hablo.
Hablo.
tú,
Habla.
hablas, vos,
Hablas.
hablas, usted, ella, él,
Habla.
habla, nosotros, nosotras,
Hablamos.
hablamos, vosotros, vosotras,
Habláis.
habláis. You have to be solid with eyes. Habláis, ustedes, ellos,
Hablan.
hablan. Now, this is our teaching moment here. If you observe here the conjugation of hablar, other than the yo form, number 1, in Spanish, we have 3 sets of so-called regular verbs. These are verbs that you would have a template for. Okay, so we have AR, we have ER, and we have IR verbs. Why is that important? It is important because depending on the ending of the base form of the verb, or we call it the infinitive, is the type of endings that you're going to use. So you master this, and guess what? That was the hard part, but now it is very rewarding because now that becomes a pattern. What is your pattern? You have this template. Hablo, hablas, habla, hablas, habla, hablamos, habláis, hablan. Now, for ER, other than the yo form, look at the endings. Do they have anything in common? AR, ER? Look at the endings. What do they have in common, and what is it different?
The A and
Do.
the E.
The A versus the E.
Hallelujah, sister. That's exactly what you need to master. As simple as you want to be practical. You don't want to think, "Oh my God, I'm learning verb endings. My brain is fried now because it's too much information." Let's be practical. The difference between AR and ER is only one letter. So if AR, the dominant vowel is A. If you're dealing with ER, the dominant vowel is A. A. Same pattern. Okay, so that was my little tip. Ooh, now you're practical about it. And today we're going to tackle ER verbs and then IR verbs. Could we be so knowledgeable today with our ER endings? I'll give you the subject pronoun. Give me the conjugated form of comprender. Do we know what comprender is?
Understand.
To understand. Now I want to say I understand, they understand, I don't understand, do you understand? All that. Okay? Let's go. Yo
Comprendo.
comprendo. Tú
Comprendes.
comprendes. Vos
Comprendes.
comprendés. Él, ella, usted
Comprende.
comprende. Nosotros, nosotras.
Comprendemos.
Correcto. Vosotros, vosotras.
Comprendéis.
¿Comprendéis? Ellos, ellas, ustedes.
comprender,
Okay, now, after having your nice strong coffee like this one, I'm going to use some concepts that we have learned. How would you ask the question? Wrong one. The question, do you understand? Make it familiar.
comprende
Comprendes
tú,
tú?
I'm totalmente, I'm altamente, I'm highly impressed. You all did very well. You said comprendes, and now this one, check it out. We could omit it. We could omit it. Why? Look at all the endings. Is there any other subject pronoun that would carry the conjugation comprendes? We'll look at it. Boom, 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 boom. No, 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 no. So by just giving the right ending of the verb here, you don't need the to. Okay? Therefore, you want to say, do you understand? Intonation. The intonation in Spanish is rising. ¿Comprendes? ¿Comprendes? Do you understand? ¿Comprendes? Give me the right intonation to say, do you understand? Uno, dos, tres, go.
¿Comprendes?
¿Comprendes?
Okay, now show me that you have learned so much here. How will you say, I don't understand?
No
No
comprendo.
comprendo.
Outstanding. And this is what you did. You dropped the yo. Perfect. Perfecto. How will you say perfectly?
Perfectamente.
Perfectamente.
And you remember the two things. So perfecto is the adjective, but you turn it feminine. So perfectamente. Bravo. So you said no comprendo, and that was so efficient. You remember that? Oh, Jorge said to me that in order to make a sentence negative, the only thing that you do is to put the negative word no in front of the conjugated form of the verb. So if I want to say, I don't understand, I say, no comprendo. How will you say, they don't understand, and make it masculine? They don't understand. Oh, they don't understand.
Ellos no.
ellos no comprenden,
Perfecto, perfecto. And now, how does your learning journey continue? Is by adding ER verbs. And remember my little tip with study Spanish .com. Has any of you used this just to enhance your grammar knowledge? If you have not used it, it try to use it whenever you have some time. Because when you do that, when you go to studyspanish.com, all this knowledge that you are showing me today, it'll multiply. It'll multiply with the new information. So if I go to studyspanish.com, okay, when you go to grammar, okay, and then you go to unit 1, and right here, regular verbs, number 3, okay, which is lesson number 10. At the bottom, this is the whole lesson. This is what you've been getting now as information, but this is more in depth. So you have all the information there in depth. And then you have a list of the most common ER verbs. You see, you have AR, then you have ER, and then you have IR. Okay, so let's try this one. With the information that you're getting today, you learned that if I'm using AR verbs, and if I master those endings, then I'll be able to master the endings for ER, because it's just a matter of changing the A for E, except the yo. Now, show me this. What if I want to say, I don't want to eat meat. I want to eat fish. Anyone? I don't want to eat meat. I want to eat fish.
No como carne.
Beautiful. But in this case, Sav start with I don't eat.
Yo.
No como carne?
Say it again.
Is it just no como carne?
Excelente. And in this case, Lara, highly recommended. In this case, you're emphasizing, oh, I
Okay.
don't eat meat.
So
So in
you
this case, say so you would keep the subject pronoun. You wouldn't drop it. Go for it.
yo no como carne?
And then, but I eat fish.
Pero yo como pescada?
Pescado,
Fish,
pescado,
pescado. Okay.
pescado. Muy bien, Lara. So, now give me fluency. You'll go with, yo no como carne, pero como pescado. Lara, your show.
Yo no como carne, pero yo como pescado.
Excelente. That is
Do it wrong
accuracy.
again.
That is accuracy. Like any native speaker, like if you're traveling and you're in a restaurant, the waitress or waiter, they will know exactly what you're talking about, and then they will offer you what their dishes with fish they have, etc. So it's very important for diet, right? Now, let's report this. Let's report this. Let's say, ooh, Lara doesn't eat meat, but she eats fish. So the two new words are carne, pescado. Carne, pescado. If you're ready, hit me. Anyone.
Lara no come carne, pero ella come pescado.
Outstanding, Julia. And I appreciate so much that you replaced the name Lara in the second part of your sentence in order to avoid repetition, right? So, Lara no come pescado, pero ella, and that is the function of pronouns, pero ella come pescado. Outstanding. Now, one more before we move on to the next chapter here. And I'll go back to my presentation here because it's a visual thing. Okay. Do we feel fine with this tip of from AR to ER to look after that change of vowel here after the yo form? You see? Hablas, comprendes, etc. Now, could you please be very, 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 very detailed? Now you have the third conjugation. What would be a little tip that you would give a person who's learning Spanish and they want to conjugate IR verbs? Look at the endings compared to ER. Boom, 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 boom. Are they the same?
Some of them.
Some of them. Which ones are the different ones, Megan?
The different ones are, I don't know, or exactly well, there's some with IS, some with,
Yeah.
I don't know. I can see it, but I don't know how to explain it.
But you're on the right track, Megan, though. You see, if we pay attention, okay, so yo is the same. Tú is the same. Vos is the same. Él, ella, usted, the same. Here is where I need you. If you have a hard copy of your textbook, I would, if you don't want to use a marker or anything, like a sticky note, I would do. The difference is in nosotros, nosotras, and vosotros, vosotras. That is the only difference compared to ER verbs. I hope this tip will help you rather than being overwhelmed with I have to learn millions of endings. Hey, be practical. AR, you did your job. I'm so proud of you. Now use that because you invested. Then for the rest of the verb conjugations, and here you'll be able to conjugate dozens of verbs, so your communication will explode like crazy. Okay, so once again, we look at ER, IR. They are very similar. They are almost identical. Where is the difference? Nosotros, nosotras, vosotros, vosotras is where, as a tip, for IR, you would keep the dominant vowel I. It's an IR verb, so I say nosotros, nosotras, escribimos. We wouldn't say nosotros, nosotras, escribemos. Nosotros, nosotras, I. And then for vosotros, vosotras, ER, you say eis. For example, comprendéis, eis. That EI turns in an I vowel sound. Escribís with an accent. Escribís. Could we all go with escribís? Uno, dos, tres.
Escribís.
Excelente, excelente. And then all the rest are identical, my friends. Okay?
Isn't vos different?
The vos is also different. Yes, you're absolutely right. Thank you for catching that. Beautiful. So it's three. So it's vosotros escribís, nosotros, nosotras escribimos, vosotros, vosotras escribís. So three of them would be different. Okay? Impress me. Subject pronoun, Señor Vargas, and conjugated form, my wonderful students, which is you. Don't look at on this, it's you. You are the incredible students. Okay? Count on three. Uno, dos, tres. Yo.
Escribo.
Tú.
Escribes.
Vos.
Escribís.
Él, ella, usted.
Escribe.
Nosotros, nosotras.
Escribimos.
And here you have to be solid, eh? Escribimos. Escribimos. The emphasis goes on the second last syllable because it ends in S. Escribimos. Could you do it again? I'll give you the subject pronoun. Give me the conjugated form of the verb. Nosotros, nosotras.
Escribimos.
Perfecto. Vosotros, vosotras.
Escribís.
Escribís. Ellos, ellas, ustedes.
Escriben.
Escriben. The verb that we're using for the story is verb vivir. What is vivir?
To live.
To live. Could you please be so kind to conjugate verb escribir this time? Pardon me, the verb vivir, vivir, vivir. Jorge, boom, 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 boom. Vivir. You ready? Here we go. Yo
Vivo.
vivo. Tú
Vives.
vives. Vos
Vivís.
vivís. Él, ella, usted
Vive.
vive. Don't go with vive. Don't be tempted because it ends in a vowel. So it would be vive. Second last syllable. Vive. We'll do it again. Él, ella, usted
Vive.
vive. Nosotros, nosotras
Vivimos.
vivimos. Vosotros, vosotras
Vivís.
Vivís. Ellos, ellas, ustedes
Viven.
viven. Now, if I go back to studyspanish.com, you see now you have dozens of verbs. You start with AR, you continue with ER, and then you finish with IR. Is dozens and dozens of verbs multiplied times 6 or 7. That is a lot of words in Spanish. And this is the accuracy that will make a difference between like a oh, no problemo. No, that is gringo style. You're going to go with the Canadian, North American style with highly educated people. I'll test you here. What if I wanted to say, I don't drink beer, but I drink wine. Ha 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 ha. Go for it.
No.
No, vivo.
Yo no bebo
Pero,
cerveza,
pero
pero
yo bebo vino.
Linda, you are the expert with alcoholic beverages here. Wonderful. She's in Arizona and she needs to know all this stuff. Muy bien. Beautiful. Outstanding. Now, one more. How about this? What if I wanted to say, I don't own a cat, but I own a dog.
Yo no poseo un gato, pero yo poseo un perro.
Let's report that. Let's say Julia doesn't own a cat, but she owns a dog. Whoever is ready, say, lista.
Julia no paseo.
But Emma, we want to say Julia doesn't. Pardon me in this case. Maybe it was my instruction. Julia doesn't own a cat, but she owns a dog.
Julia no posee un gato, pero ella posee un perro.
And I have to salute you, Emma, because the difficulty there was that the verb has two E's. So we take out the ER, but we would still keep that E. And that is kind of awkward because do I need to add the other E? Yes, you do. And that's why you said posee, no posee. Outstanding work, Emma. Okay, do you get my message here? So whenever you have the time, please, just for fun, to assess yourselves, go to studyspanish.com, and then in this unit 1, you have wonderful opportunities of testing yourselves, and this one exercise or lessons 8, 9, and 10, they are full of very good information. Now, let's go to hands-on stuff that we were doing with El Cuarto Misterioso, now that we have all that information. So that's why here we have José vive. Aquí vive José con su tío el señor Juárez. Okay? From that information, I need someone to answer this question. ¿Cuál es la capital de México? And give me a full sentence.
La capital es la Ciudad de México.
I need a different person. Gracias, Lara. Was it Lara?
Yeah.
Yep. Could I have another person to answer número 2? ¿Cuántos habitantes tiene la Ciudad de México?
Those million.
Okay,
Sorry.
Sam, I think you started answering. Go for it.
20 millones personas viven en la Ciudad de México.
Outstanding. And now you know what I appreciate that 20 millones de personas viven, and that was so wonderful because you used the verb that we were practicing. 20 millones de habitantes viven en la Ciudad de México. Is there any other answer? Because there's more than one way of answering that, eh?
La Ciudad de México tiene 20 millones de habitantes.
And I have to applaud Sab and Julia. Both sentences are correct, and yet you paraphrase it differently. And that is the beauty of communication. May I have another person, please? Answering número 3. ¿Dónde está Coyoacán? Coyoacán, Coyoacán, ¿dónde está Coyoacán?
Coyoacán es parte de la Ciudad de México.
Extraordinario. Muy bien, Linda. Another person. ¿Con quién y dónde vive José? Different person, different person, different person. ¿Con quién y dónde vive José? So it's a two-part answer. So you're answering who does he live with and where does he live?
José vive en Coyoacán con su tío.
Excelente. José vive en Coyoacán con su tío. Could we move now? I'm not going to go in depth with the explanation because here there's the so-called present progressive or present continuous verb tense. I've given a little preview in the past, and we're going to translate this, but we'll move on because we want to make use of our time today. So, José está haciendo, in this case, we're using the present progressive. José is doing. Is doing what? La tarea. What is la tarea, anyone?
I think
Homework.
it's homework.
Homework. Lara, very good. Right on the money there. La tarea is homework or task. Like, oh, my task is to do this. Okay, la tarea. And then, so what kind of a homework?
College.
Or in this case, colegio, Julia, is referred to high school. Okay? Okay. So in this case, it would be high school. So he's doing his high school homework. Where?
On the computer.
On the computer. And then it says, al lado tiene un libro de historia de México. Al lado is beside. Okay? So could you translate then the instruction here?
Beside him, he has a book on the history of Mexico.
Outstanding. Outstanding, Linda. And then, oh, here is an AR verb. The verb is entrar. Entrar. What is entrar?
Enters.
Enter. And this is an AR verb. How do you say I enter?
Entro.
Yo entro.
How do you say he enters?
El entra.
El entra. And one more. We enter. I'm making masculine.
Nosotros
Ello
entramos.
entros.
What is the we?
Nosotros.
Nosotros. Put it together. I think, Lara, you were answering. How do you say we enter?
Entramos.
Perfecto. Okay. So in this case, the uncle enters. Okay. Now, could you please use your best actresses' voices? Okay, so I'll just say the name of the character and you give me the line with passion. Ha ha ha. El tío.
Hola,
José.
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 Hola,
Hola,
tío.
Hola, tío.
tío.
¿Cómo
¿Cómo
estás?
¿Cómo estás?
El tío.
Bien.
Bien.
¿Y
¿Y
tú?
tú?
José.
Bien.
Bien,
tío.
tío.
Bien, tío.
El tío.
¿Y
¿Qué
¿Y
el
libro
libro
es
qué
es?
libro es este?
José.
Es
Es
Un
Es un
libro
libro de
de
historia.
historia.
El tío.
un
Un
libro de
libro
la
de
historia
la
De la
historia
historia
de
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 México.
México.
José.
es
Es
para
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 un
un
proyecto de mi clase
proyecto
de
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 mi
mi
historia.
clase
clase de
de historia.
historia.
Okay, so far I'm sure you all understand every single word. And this last line, what is this? Es para un proyecto de mi clase de historia. How will you translate that?
Project for my
S-
history
For a
class.
project.
Correcto. So it's a project for my history class. Okay. And could you say what el tío is saying? Uno, dos, tres.
Hab-
libro de la
Un
Libro de
libro de la
Historia
historia
de
de México.
muy
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 interesante.
interesante.
Okay. May I have people who have not participated before answering the following question. ¿De qué es el libro que tiene José? I'm trying to go with a complete sentence, especially anyone who has not participated before. Ready? Ready? A little tip. In order to impress people when they ask you a question, use most of the question for your answer. But what do you need to do? You need to find what the subject of your answer is, what the verb is, and then you complement that or you complete that with the rest of the answer. For example, we all understand the question. ¿De qué es el libro que tiene José? Therefore, my subject would be the book that José has. How, like all together, how would you say the book that José has? How would you say that?
El libro que
El libro
tiene
Tiene José.
Correcto, correcto. That was very well done, Megan. So you're saying the book that José has. That's what you're saying. Okay. El libro que tiene José, and now the verb is right there. El libro que tiene José es, and then you give me the rest of the answer. Who would like to do it? Anyone, even if you participated before.
De la historia de México.
De la historia de México. Could you please give me the whole thing, Lara? Now, yes, it's repetitive, but you're learning the language, so you need that exposure. Okay, so you'll go, el libro que tiene José es de la historia de México. Are you with me, Lara? Count to
I
three,
think
you're
so.
on. Uno,
El,
dos, let's go.
sorry. El libro que tiene José es de la historia de México.
Excelente. Did we all get it? If we all got it, could we say it at the count of three? You're saying the book that Jose has is of the history of Mexico. Count of three, we'll do it. Uno, dos, tres, go.
El
El
libro
libro
que
que
tiene
tiene
José
José
es
es
historia de
de la
la
historia
historia
De
de
la historia
México.
de México.
Perfecto. I need another person. On the same token, use the subject, the verb, and the rest of the answer with the complete sentence answering. ¿Qué proyecto tiene José? So you could start with Jose has a project of the history of Mexico. How about that?
Jose tiene protecto de his, what is my saying again?
Yeah, you're there, Megan.
Fire.
Megan, you were so perfect. You said,
Jose tiene
el proyecto.
project
No, you said José tiene un proyecto, and you were right here.
de la historia de México.
Excelente, Megan. That's what we are talking about. José tiene un proyecto de la historia de México. Outstanding.
Can I
And
just
now,
ask really quick, why is it in the first sentence, does it say es el libro? Like, why is book twice?
oh, because Jorge had like a special beverage in his
Oh.
coffee. Megan, that was my fault. But
Okay.
I'm glad you caught it. Oh, I don't know these special coffees, and actually, Linda is giving me all these recipes to put in my coffee. Very good observation,
Bueno.
though. Bueno, sí. Now, the rest of the instruction here. Francisco está en el parque de Coyoacán. What is that?
Francisco is in
In a
Coyoacán
park.
Park.
And the new word here, junto. Could we all say junto? Uno, dos, tres.
Junto.
Junto means together. Together. So, who is Francisco together with?
Two girls. Two
What kind
Spanish
of
girls.
girls? What kind of girls, Lara?
Spanish girls.
Two Spanish girls there. Ana y Conchita. And then we say, Francisco llama a José. What is that? Francisco llama a José.
Jose.
He calls
Say that.
Francisco called Jose.
Francisco calls José. And now, teaching moment. Francisco is the subject. Llama is the verb. So Francisco llama and José is the object. Observation. If the object is a person, you always have to put this little word a that does not have a translation. It only has the function of introducing a person as part of the object. You see? Francisco llama a José. What if I want to say Francisco calls his mom?
Francisco llama a Pedro.
Mamá.
Francisco llama a su
Mamá.
mamá. What if I want to say Francisco calls his friend?
Francisco
llama a
Ah,
Su amigo.
A su amigo. You understood that? So that's why we have that little word a. Okay? Now, continue the dialogue, please, with your actress's voice. El tío.
Bueno.
Bueno.
Francisco.
Buenos
Buenos
días,
días,
Don
Pedro.
Pedro.
Disculpe,
Disculpe,
está
José.
José.
¿Está José?
Muy bien. El tío.
¿Eres tú?
¿Eres tú?
Un momento, por
Un por favor.
José es para ti.
Para ti.
Okay? Now, this expression here literally is you are. Literally, because you're saying tú eres, right? You are. But this is equivalent to in English when you say, oh, it's you, it is you, it's you. We don't have the word it in subject position. So we use, you are. Okay, so whenever you want to say, oh, it's you, could you say, it is tú, it is tú, with that intention. Count to three. Could you say it? Uno, dos, tres.
Eres
¿Eres
tú.
tú?
Okay, so you said, un momento, por favor, José es para ti. José is for you. Could you please be José? Uno, dos, tres, go.
Es
Mi
Es
mamá.
mi
¿Es tu
mamá.
mamá?
Oh, so sorry. What did I do there? Oh, where am I here? Boom, 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 boom. Go for it. José, es mi mamá, el tío.
No.
No, es
It's
Francisco.
No es Francisco. Beautiful. Answer the question. ¿Cómo se llama el amigo de José? And we are going to go with Malija. Malija, ¿cómo se llama el amigo de José?
I'm at the airport. It's quite noisy.
Oh, so sorry, Malija. So sorry, Malija. So we'll help you because it's too noisy there. Now, could I have someone answering, but with full sentence, starting with El amigo de José se llama. That is your sentence. Who's doing it?
El
El
amigo.
amigo de José se llama Francisco.
Excelente. Let's move on. You're José. 1, 2, 3, go.
Francisco.
José.
Hola,
Hola,
Francisco.
¿Cómo
¿Cómo
estás?
estás?
Francisco.
Bien,
José.
José.
Muy bien,
Muy
muy
bien.
bien.
Tengo
Tengo
una
una
sorpresa.
No,
No,
dos sorpresas.
You sound so mysterious. Ooh, continue, please. José.
Dos
Dos
sorpresas.
sorpresas.
¿Estás bien?
Bien,
Francisco.
¿Qué
¿Qué
Whoa,
sorpresas
whoa, 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 whoa.
tiene
So sorry, so
Francisco
sorry, so
para
sorry,
José?
so sorry. This is my show here. Don't steal my show here. So this is my question to you, and one of you will answer. ¿Qué sorpresas tiene Francisco para José? Anyone, pick that question and give me your answer. Sab, you started.
Francisco sorprende a José con dos muchachas o dos mujeres.
Muy bien. Francisco sorprende a José con dos muchachas o dos mujeres. I love your approach, and what Saf is using is sorprender. Outstanding job there, Saf. And now sorprender is an ER verb. How will you say, I surprise? Anyone? That's your verb, sorprender. Say to me, I surprise.
Yo sorprendo.
Yo sorprendo. And now one more. How will you say, they surprise? They surprise. Masculine.
Ellos sorprenden.
That is perfect Spanish, my wonderful class. Outstanding. Thank you, Sab, for your contribution. Let's continue here. Could you be Francisco? But with Francisco's voice, eh? Go for it. Francisco.
Sí, dos sorpresas.
Aquí
está la
sorpresa número uno.
I have to tell you that you have to change your voice now because now you're Ana. Go for it.
Hola,
soy
Ana. Sorpresa número uno.
José.
Hola,
Ana.
Francisco.
Y
Y
aquí
está la
sorpresa
sorpresa
número
número
dos.
Well, I have to tell you that you need to change your voice again because now you're Conchita. Don't confuse me, please. Conchita.
Hola,
yo me llamo
Conchita.
Yo soy
Soy la sorpresa
número dos.
Beautiful. You see how, for example, Conchita did not drop the yo? And this is what I was saying to you before. This is up to you. If you think that, I need to make sure that I am surprise number 2 or number 1, whatever it is, keep it. Don't drop it. She said, yo soy la sorpresa número 2. So that is the deal. When to drop the yo, when not to do it. It's all up to you depending on what you want to say. Okay? Be Jose, please.
Hola,
Conchita.
Francisco.
Bueno,
José,
Ana y
Conchita son las
son las
sorpresas.
sorpresas.
Can you answer the question? ¿Qué sorpresas tiene Francisco para José? And actually, Sab already answered that. So we'll move on because what was your answer again, Sab? Go for it.
Sorry. The two surprises. Ana y Conchita son las sorpresas de Francisco.
Ana y Conchita son las sorpresas de Francisco. Excelente. Could you all be Jose? And be sarcastic. Be sarcastic here. Because Jose saying, you with two girls? Where are you? Your version in Spanish. Uno, dos, tres, go.
Tú
¿Tú
con dos muchachas,
Muchachas,
¿dónde
¿dónde
estás?
¿Dónde está?
Francisco.
En
En
el
el
Parque
Coyoacán.
Vienes.
Beautiful. This vienes would be equivalent to are you coming? Are you coming? So this is verb venir, which is to come. Venir is to come. Jose, go for it.
Bueno,
Bueno,
en
en
10
10
minutos
minutos
estoy en el
estoy en el
en el
Parque
Coyoacán.
Coyoacán.
Francisco.
Hasta
Hasta
luego.
luego.
Jose.
Sí,
sí, hasta luego.
Jose cuelga el teléfono y se va de afán. Jose hangs the telephone, hangs on the telephone, and he lives in hurry. Could you be? Oh, you know what? You're concerned. You are the Teal. He's leaving. He was in the middle of a project. Teal.
¿Qué
pasa, oye?
oye?
In this case, so what's going on? Hey, listen, what's going on? That's el Teal. Jose.
Es
Francisco.
Francisco.
Es importante.
Importante.
El Teal.
Es
Es
importante. Tu
importante.
proyecto.
¿Y tu
¿Y tu
proyecto?
Okay, Jose is neglecting his project. Be Jose. He has something more important to do. Go for it.
Mañana.
Mañana.
Adiós.
El tío.
Mañana.
Perfecto. So Francisco y Ana are sitting at the Coyoacán Park. Jose arrives. I need another person to answer. ¿Dónde está Francisco con las dos sorpresas? So where is Francisco with the two surprises? I need an answer.
Francisco is in El Parque Coyoacán.
Muy bien. Just one little tiny thing, Lara. This is location.
Okay, so esta.
Therefore, beautiful. Give me your answer again. I'll ask you the question. You'll give me your answer again. ¿Dónde está Francisco con las dos sorpresas?
Francisco está en El Parque Coyoacán.
That is perfection, my dear. Okay. So, and that's why we're practicing. The more we practice, then it'll become second nature. That's you'll be using es or está. Wonderful, Lara. And let's finish this with Francisco. So Jose arrives at the park and be Francisco. Uno, dos, tres.
Muchachas.
Jose.
Jose.
Oh, now be Anna, but whoa, Anna is like, go get it, girl. You're saying, hey, good looking. Oh, man. In that tone. Anna, uno, dos, tres.
Hola,
Guapo.
Yo soy
Ana.
Okay, now you have a line there when you're traveling and then you're at the bar with this good-looking person. Okay, Francisco.
Por favor,
Ana.
Guapo.
Jose.
Ana.
Sí,
Jose es
guapo.
Perfecto. José.
Mucho gusto, Ana.
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 El
gusto es mío.
Outstanding. That's why we are doing this, incorporating these lines, because this is a common conversation. So whenever you want to say, nice to meet you, one of the expression is mucho gusto. Let's practice that again. Could you say mucho gusto?
Mucho
gusto.
And this one is a very classic one to say, the pleasure is all mine. The pleasure is all mine. Say, el gusto es mío. Uno, dos, tres.
El
gusto es
mío.
Let's practice that. I'll say, Nice to meet you. And you'll all say, oh, it's my pleasure, Jorge, meeting you. Here we go. El gusto es, pardon me, mucho gusto.
El
El
gusto
gusto
es
es
mío.
Es mío.
Perfecto. Di José, please.
¿Y
¿Y
tú?
tú? ¿Cómo te
¿Cómo se
llamas?
llama?
llamas?
El
Conchita.
Yo
Yo
me
me
llamo
llamo
Conchita.
Conchita.
Yo soy
Clase
la
clase
persona
número
número
dos.
dos.
Número 2.
Perfecto. José.
Mucho
Mucho
gusto.
gusto.
Gusto, Conchita.
Conchita.
Mucho
Mucho
gusto.
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 Let's polish the pronunciation here. Would be gusto. Gusto. Mucho gusto. Could we all say that? Uno, dos, tres.
Mucho
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 gusto.
gusto.
Perfecto. Next question. José.
Ana, ¿de
Ana,
dónde
¿de dónde
eres?
eres?
¿Eres?
Be Ana, please.
Yo
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 soy
soy
Soy de
de
España.
España.
José.
de
de
España.
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 ¿Y
¿Y tú?
tú?
Conchita.
Yo
Yo
también
también
soy de
soy de
España.
España.
José.
Tú
Tú
eres
eres
¿Eres de
España.
España? ¿Tú
de
también?
España.
España.
Eres de
Bien.
España.
Muy bien.
Muy
Muchas
bien.
muchas de España.
Continue.
Muchos.
Dos muchachas de España. Question. And I need an answer. ¿De dónde son Ana y Conchita? Very specific. ¿De dónde son Ana y Conchita? I need an answer with a full sentence.
Ellas son de España.
I appreciate how you replaced Ana y Conchita with the personal pronoun ellas. Ellas son de España. Gracias, Julia. Could you could you please be Francisco? Uno, dos, tres, go.
Sí,
Sí,
Son
dos muchachas de
España son
son
de
son
mi
de mi
colegio.
colegio.
Remember that colegio in this case would be referred to high school. And José,
Muy bien.
Muy bien.
Bien.
Muy bien.
Francisco,
Y son
Y son
hermanas.
Bananas.
answer the question. ¿Qué es Ana de Conchita? What is the relationship?
Ana y Conchita son hermanas.
Excelente, excelente, Linda. And we could check your accent there in Arizona. Okay, let's continue here. José,
Hermanas.
Qué
sorpresa.
Bienvenidas
Bienvenidas
a México.
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 perfecto. Bienvenidas a México. Ana,
Gracias.
Gracias.
Conchita,
Ana.
Ana,
Son
son
las
Son
cinco.
las 5.
Ana,
Ay,
Sí,
sí,
es
es
verdad.
verdad.
José.
Oye,
Ana,
¿Cuál es
¿cuál
el
es
número de
Número
teléfono?
teléfono.
Beautiful. In this case, the expression oye is listen. Listen, Ana. So what's your telephone number? Could you please give me the telephone number? Be Ana.
55, 81, 73, 25.
25.
You see the pattern that she's using? She's using with the two numbers in a row for intonation. 55, 81. That's another technique. You could do that as well. Be Conchita.
Ana, son
Son
las
las 5 y
5.
Ana.
Sí, vale. Adiós, chicos.
chicos.
José.
Adiós, no. Hasta
Hasta
luego.
luego.
Francisco.
Hasta
Hasta
mañana.
mañana.
Ana y Conchita.
Adiós.
Adiós.
Okay, so as you can see, that is what I'm expecting. And could you please rain check? I have two students who already sent me a message saying that they completed the questionnaire. And very important to have the summary, but it's your own summary. Could you please, we're going to start the class, next class, with your summary. I'm going to go one by one. I'm going to go, Julia, and then you'll go with, oh, en el cuarto misterioso, en el episodio uno, blah, 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 blah. So you'll have around a minute, everyone, a minute of doing your summary of El Cuarto Misterioso. What's for next class? Next class, I'll continue introducing this new unit. So could you please be so kind to go in your textbook, go in to unit 2. Okay, so go there, because right after your summary, we're going to do this. You're going to describe these pictures with the vocabulary that we'll be learning, and something very important in this unit. After that, could you please be so kind to check this page, which is page 37 in your textbook? And in this page, this is what we already know. We know how to conjugate AR, ER, and IR verbs, but next class we are going to tackle these 2 new verbs. Verb hacer, which is to do or to make, and this one is absolutely new stuff and very, very good and practical thing. We're going to go to learn the so-called stem changing verbs. And the stem changing verb that we are going to learn is querer, which means to want. And sometimes we use it as to love a person. That was your lesson for today. And have a wonderful weekend. If you're participating in that EHBA event, have lots of fun. Looking forward to seeing you on Wednesday. Ciao, ciao!
Ciao, ciao.
Ciao.
Gracias.
Gracias.
Adiós.